And welcome to Valkenswaard in the Netherlands. It's the opening round of the FIM 2012 MX1 Motocross World Championship. My name is Paul Malin. Temperature getting a little bit warmer, although the clouds still there, a little bit overcast and gloomy. You see the rain just starting to fall on this 1,500 metre long circuit. And, well, Jeffrey Herlings in that first MX2 race was simply in a class of his own. Made a good start, and there he is, just right to the right-hand side, number 84, alongside his teammate, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Tommy Searle came home in second position, but it was Jake Nichols who actually got the whole shot in that first moto. And, well, Tommy Searle having to settle for second position. Joel Roulance fought his way through from 7th or 8th position in the early stages to get back to 3rd, closing in on Tommy Searle as well. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek was 4th. Jake Nichols, a fine ride in 5th, ahead of Jordi Tixier, Alex Tonkoff, Mel Pocock, Valentin Tellier and Dylan Ferrandis. Good ride for him as well in 10th place. But the times that you're seeing, or the names you're seeing on the screen, that's obviously the start list. That's how the riders qualified in the race on Sunday. Of course, that was Herlings on pole from Hoorbeek, Tommy Searle, Jake Nichols and Jose Boutron. Max Anstey down in 6th position. Talking about Max Anstey, had a good ride through the field, eventually came through to 11th. So Max Anstey going to be looking for something slightly better in the second race. Well, the green flag is up. Dave Nicol, our race director, walks across to his left. The 15-second board goes up in the rain here in Valkenswaard. The second MX2 event about to get underway. The fans lining the circuit here in anticipation of this rider, Jeffrey Herlings, number 84, the young 17-year-old sensation, looking for a second race victory. 5-second board turns, and the gate goes. And it's one of the Kawasaki's that goes through, and it's Joel Roulance and Tommy Searle. And Jose Boutron gets a good jump as well. 17th, one of the KTM riders. Was that Herlings or was that Van Hoorbeek there? Difficult to pick him out through the rain here, but Tommy Searle looks to have got in front here, ahead of his teammate and ahead of Jose Boutron. So Boutron second, Joel Roulance third. This will be just what he wants. And look at that, in the space of a few seconds, the rain has really blown in and come across the circuit. There is Van Hoorbeek, Jeffrey Herlings in 4th position around the outside, using those tear-offs just to clear his vision as he goes through at the top of the hill. So it's Tommy Searle, Joel Roulance, Jose Boutron, Jeffrey Herlings, Glenn Coldenhoff, and certainly Glenn Coldenhoff and Dylan Ferrandis and Valentin Guillot, Jake Nichols and Max Anstey rounding out the top 9. Down the hill we go, on board with Glenn Coldenhoff, and it's Dylan Ferrandis just behind him. But look at that, Herlings there in 3rd place. The rain coming in from the wooded area of the circuit. The track is going to be brutal and gnarly as this race takes place. And that's 45. Jake Nichols goes down. So Nichols, who had a good start there in 8th place, everybody going by him. Anstey goes through. Julian Lieber, Pascal Rauschneck, and Mel Pocock. There's Petr Petrov, 152, and his teammate Harry Kulas just behind him. So Jake Nichols then coming unstuck there right on the opening lap after such a fine performance in that first moto. Coming round to complete the lap. And Jeffrey Herlings already there into 2nd position, having found a way past Joel Roulance. So Tommy Searle, well, we heard him after the first moto saying he was pleased with that 2nd position. Basically what he was saying was that there's no sense in challenging Jeffrey Herlings, who almost comes to grief going through that turn 2. Because Herlings simply in a class of his own around these kind of conditions, and Tommy Searle also not even his favourite circuit. But it's a lot different, the picture, than it was in the first moto, because as Joel Roulance challenges Jeffrey Herlings for that 2nd position and almost runs alongside him. Oh, nice move there from Tommy Searle, jumping cleanly over the berm, railing around the outside, so doubling his way in. Obviously the rider's now riding in rain. It's going to start to play havoc with the goggles. The rider's visibility is going to start to become reduced. The longer someone like Jeffrey Herlings stays behind Tommy Searle, he's not only got the rain to deal with, but also the roost coming up off the goggles. And this is perfect for Tommy Searle at the moment. Joel Rouland's having to deal with the roost from Herlings, but a couple of mistakes there. There was Herlings getting away. Tixier not getting a great start. Number 911. And as everybody ran in, look at that, Coldenhoff again doing what he did yesterday, but this time it worked out for him. Only came out around about 4th place. The two Fleury Kawasaki's there, number 34 and 100, Tommy Searle and Joel Rouland, going through in, second and third, first, second position as they entered that turn. Tommy Searle looking a little bit more relaxed in the early stages of this race, but Jeffrey Herlings not going to really let him off the hook. But the line he chose there, Jeffrey Herlings just turned it on a sixpence. Through the rhythm section they go, and still tripling in, and the crowd go wild as Herlings takes the lead here. So Jeffrey Herlings then made light work of that triple section, and that has launched him into the lead, and that's the difference. When you see it on its own just being jumped and somebody not doing the triple, it's difficult to visualize the impact that that has, but Jeffrey Herlings, he was committed down that back straight, working his way towards the final turn, got on the gas, launched himself up onto the step up, and he was high in the sky and found a way to force the issue down the inside of Tommy Searle. So we have a new race leader, and with that, it was the fastest lap of the race so far. 1:55.44 for Jeffrey Herlings, 1:57.0 for Tommy Searle on that lap, and that gap already more than 3/4 of a second. Jeffrey Herlings now looking to be in the best possible position to go on and pick up potentially a double moto win. It's not the first time that's happened either. The last two occasions we've been here, Jeffrey Herlings has simply decimated the field. There's Glenn Coldenhoff, the Nissan GM Racing KTM rider, down in 6th place at the moment, carrying the onboard camera just ahead. And I say just because breathing down his neck is the number 22, Dylan Ferrandis, on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki. Julian Lieber, who was a lap down in that first moto, but did well to hang on to the likes of Petrov's in. A load of green fencing in and around. He's had a tough weekend, a tough kind of week or so. Had a practice crash leading up to this event. Landed on a slower rider at one of the training facilities, and then he had a big crash yesterday and rang his bell pretty good and patched himself about a bit. But there's Anstey, number 6. So Anstey in 4th place, already about 7 seconds down on Joel Rouland. So we did say that Max Anstey would be looking to capitalise on that poor start with that hard charge through the field in moto number 1. And Anstey, who when we came here last year picked up a 10th and a 9th position, not what he wanted then either. He's certainly in the mood in this second moto on that Garibaldi Ester 250F Honda. There's Van Horbeek, so it's Van Horbeek that got forced wide going through turns 1 and 2. Mel Pocock in the mix again. We'll give a few riders a chance to come over the line, and then we'll give you a summary as to the positions as they go through. Jeffrey Herlings, another fastest lap of the race so far, 1:54.5, in conditions that are getting worse for the riders with each passing lap in terms of it still raining and still being a lot of roost and wet sand coming up into the riders' faces. More a problem just for the goggles than the actual track conditions itself. But Tommy Searle there, 2.5 seconds down on Jeffrey Herlings. Third is Joel Rouland, a couple of seconds back on his teammate. Then it's Max Anstey, Jose Antonio Bertrand, Glenn Coldenhoff is 6th, Dylan Ferrand is 7th, Valentin Grillo is 8th, Jordi Tixier is 9th, Mel Pocock on the Monstradis Yamaha is 10th, and then it's Jeremy Van Horbeek's Red Bull KTM 11th, ahead of Valentin Tellier on the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki. Jake Nichols on the Nissan GM Racing KTM. So despite the headache that he picked up after practice this morning in the warm-up session, Van Horbeek was at Tixier. Nichols there in 13th position. Then we've got Pascal Rauschnecker, Alex Tonkov, Julian Lieber. Oh, he's lost a few positions there. He's down in 16th. Robert just 17. Harry Kulas, Kevin Ford, and Britt Ratzett rounding out your 20-point scorers. Just behind them, off the back of the points, we've got Roman Febvre down in 21st place. Then we've got Elliot Banks-Brown in 22nd. Didn't finish the first race, didn't get a chance to catch up with him in the break. But Elliot Banks-Brown, he's got plenty of time to go on and score points here in this second moto. But Herlings in fine form. That's Ferrandis. So Ferrandis there in 7th position, number 22 in that yellow clothing. Look at the battle here for 2nd position between the two Floride Kawasaki Monster Energy Pro Circuit teammates. 100, Tommy Searle, and 34. We're getting ready to go to pit lane for an interview as the two Kawasaki boys go at it, and it looks like a change on the cards. Roulants goes second. Right, let's go down to pit lane. I think Amy's down there. Maybe she's got some news for us. So let's go down there right now. Sorry.
Vito, are you having a good weekend this weekend?
I think it's a wonderful weekend. I'm very happy to be here just at the beginning of this marvelous World Championships, where I think it's also a great party for everybody because we have all the classes together, MX1, 2, 3, and the women.
And we have a good future for the FIM World Motocross Championship, yes?
Yes, I think the future of the championship is has a really big future, and together with the promoters and all the people involved with the federation, we will try to improve and to expand this championship.
Onwards and upwards for the GP.
Thanks, Amy. Getting the word down there with Mr. Vito Polito. As the fans cram in here, trying to catch a glimpse of their hero, Jeffrey Herlings, who's now nearly 7 seconds clear of Tommy Searle. The rest of the riders go through. That was Dylan Ferrandis there, number 22. Ahead of him, the number 17, Jose Boutron. He's in 5th place, just ahead of our onboard camera, number 25, Glenn Coldenhoff on the Nistan GM Racing KTM. Max Anstey, we're waiting for him to come over the line. Well, we've got Roulants over the line in 2nd, then Tommy Searle in 3rd. And 6 seconds further back, Max Anstey on that Honda. So Max Anstey looking to make amends, as we said earlier, but Jose Boutron having a good ride. In fact, he was having a good ride in the first moto, but until his bike stopped with a few laps to go. He was up there in the mix in around about 12th, 10th, just on the edge of the top 10 area. Probably not what we expected from Boutron. But looking comfortable here on that Diga Racing KTM is Boutron, number 17. And he's fending off the challenge of the 25, Glenn Coldenhoff, and the 22 of Dylan Ferrandis. And we've got the commentator getting very excited over on the far side of the circuit, not sure exactly why. Maybe he's just said that Herlings has extended his lead by about another 9 seconds a lap or something like that. But it's John Roulants who has the fastest first sector time on this lap at the moment. About a 10th or so quicker than Jeffrey Herlings. So Joe Roulants really in the mood in this second race. Somebody's gone down through the fence. Is that Lieber or might be Julian Lieber? 33, I think that might be. And that might be what the fuss was all about with the commentator just a moment ago. You see a bike parked in the fence like that. Gives everybody reason to stand up and take notice. But Coldenhoff challenging over the bottom end of the circuit, working his way back towards the finish line area. Dylan Ferrandis in a good position here with 23.5 to go. That's him there on that black Kawasaki, all in yellow. And Dylan Ferrandis down in 7th place. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek about 6 seconds further back. Well, he's actually closing in on these guys. And Van Hoorbeek in 8th. Mel Pocock still good in the points in 9th. Valentin Tellier 10th, just ahead of Jake Nichols, who's still on the charge in 11th. .23 minutes plus 2 laps remain as we go through the final corner on board with Glenn Coldenhoff. This is what it looks like on board on the run-up towards that Monster Energy finish line jump. All those ruts have been taken out there, but not so much on the downside as it bottlenecks its way through that, what is the final corner on the track, the Indus Trade Bank pit lane area. Gnarly hard bumps all over this circuit. Our onboard camera there, equipped with its own set of roll-offs. Riders able to double those early waves at the start of the weekend. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek closing in all the time on Dylan Ferrandis and Glenn Coldenhoff and Jose Boutron. These guys battling for 5th position. Van Hoorbeek down there in 8th place, just coming into view now through that left-hander. Jake Nichols has now found his way into 10th position on that Nissan JM Racing KTM. Valentin Tellier is who's going backwards down in 11th position. Tixier is 12th. Rauschenecker 13th. Alex Tonkov, he's arrived from somewhere because he's now in 14th position. And Tonkov had a good ride in Moto number 1 with a 7. So he's going to be looking to try and get himself further up the leaderboard as Colden Hoff closing in on Boutron. Listen to the panic rev through there. Just trying to get that rear wheel spinning up before it lands in all that deep, heavy sand. Rider's taking a slightly wider entry into that left-hander before it tightens up through that right. Doing a little bit of work on the face of this jump. That little knuckle that was there beforehand, riders were scrubbing over, that's gone. Pretty much everybody ridden straight through that on the face of that jump in the background, but Boutron, you kind of wonder how long he's going to be able to hang it out there for. Certainly with Coldenhoff, a seasoned sand rider, and Dylan Ferrandis, just a very talented rider in his own right. Should have been a European MX2 champion last year had he not got injured when he entered the German Grand Prix at Teushenthal as a wild card. Broke a wrist, and there's Van Hoorbeek. Van Hoorbeek is here, he's arrived, he's come to play, and the rider in his sights is Dylan Ferrandis. So there's Ferrandis, there's Van Hoorbeek, 89. So this is a four-way battle for 5th position in this second MX2 race. Our leader, Jeffrey Herlings, only 7.2 seconds clear, so just managing that gap, you'd have to say, over Joel Roulon, certainly by the lap time anyway. 56, 156 for Herlings last time around, 159 for Joel Roulons. Tommy Searle 14 seconds down on his teammate. That's obviously going to be decisive in the 2nd overall and 3rd overall positions on the podium. That's Max Anstick, number 6 on the Garibaldi Ester Honda. Coming up behind the 101, Samuel Zaney, who finished 24th in the European MX2 Championship last year. Oh, Boutron's gone down. But his bike broke in the first race, and he's absolutely in no hurry to get up on that Digger Racing KTM and fire off any more laps soon. So I can only assume, therefore, hopefully not mistakenly. Oh yeah, pulling off to the left, that's it, that bike's gone again. So that's an easy passage through then for Glenn Coldenhoff, number 25, as he moves into 5th position, and it's going to be a double score for Jose Boutron. Oh, look at that, Anstick tripling his way through. And Anstick was probably one of the first riders to pop that triple jump, actually, on Sunday morning in the first MX2 practice. Buries that Honda deep into that left-hander as he heads down pit lane. Up onto the plateau, just past turn 1. And Max Anstick trying to put in a bit of a charge. He's still only about 5 seconds down on Tommy Searle. And he'd love to close in on his former teammate and maybe challenge him for that 3rd place finish in this second moto. Won't get Anstey on the podium in terms of an overall Grand Prix result, but certainly Anstey looks like he's in a mood in this second race. Just behind him, Glenn Coldenhoff still fighting off the close attentions of Dylan Ferrandis, as Anstey looks to find a way through on a back marker. Looks like it's a 249. Nikolai Larsen on the standing construct Suzuki. Looks like they've done a bit of work on that step down as well. The braking bump's less severe on the landing there, but just look at the poise of this guy here. Not rushing himself, picking his lines nice and neatly. Up on the pegs, just how everybody's riding the sand anyway. That's the only way to ride sand, but he's just doing everything that little bit better than everybody else. Scribbing his way through, keeping it nice and low. Gets on the gas. The KTM power just seems to be digging in. I mean, he'll have the exact same machine as Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, but the way that this kid rides it, doubling his way through, up on the pegs, back end just dancing around. Kid is such a talent, certainly in the sand. Nice and high with the front wheel coming through that wave section, trying to jump as far and as long as possible to try and land further up the upslope on those waves. Joel Roulance, by comparison, what's he going to do? Very, very similar look, nice and high, bouncing his way through. Tommy Searle, just a lot shorter look. You see him disappearing into those holes. And it's those areas where the likes of the sand specialist, Joel Roulance, and certainly Jeffrey Herlings, able to eke out their time. That gap between Herlings and Roulance now gone out to 12.3 seconds. Tommy Searle doing well to keep his teammate in his sights. That's Tommy Searle there, 100, of course. And then we've got Coldenhoff. He's already over the line. He's... How far? Well, he's still got Van Hoorbeek there, so he's found a way past Dylan Ferrandis now, who drops to 7th. Then Mel Pocock, what a fantastic ride for him this weekend. He's down in 8th place at the moment, is Mel Pocock. And he was 8th in the first moto, so in terms of his overall Grand Prix result, Mel Pocock certainly doing himself no injustice whatsoever. He's, where would he be, actually? Herlings would win it with a couple of wins. Roulance would be second. Let's go to the Garibaldi Honda, though, pit lane.
Here in the pit lane with Giacomo Garibaldi. Now, it's Max's first GP for you guys, and he's putting in some good laps.
Yeah, no, so far we are very happy because he's riding 4th, and let's hope that we'll continue with this rhythm for the rest of the race.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, Giacomo Garibaldi there, team owner for the team that this guy here, Max Anstie, is currently riding for, and of course, number 66, Alex Tonkov, the Russian. But Anstie here, up onto that plateau, doubling his way through, having a wheelie onto the face of that takeoff, just to get that elevation as he hit the takeoff point. But doing everything right is Anstie. Where is he in relation to Tommy Searle? Well, he's still 9 seconds down on Tommy Searle. Kind of feel that the Kawasaki maybe just has a slight advantage in terms of power over these particular Hondas that Max Anstie is riding, but puts in a good performance this weekend, as he is doing. Who knows, maybe there'll be a few more parts arriving before Bulgaria. There's Dylan Ferrandis. Ferrandis down in 7th position. Put in a good spurt at the beginning part of the moto, so he's going to be still within a second or so of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, or he was last time around. That will go out a little bit this time. I'm just wondering how far Mel Pocock is behind him, and who's that gone down? Is that 141? It might have been Chervelin, actually. So there's Ferrandis. And he's got 7 seconds over Van Hoorbeek, and Mel Pocock has closed right in on Van Hoorbeek, so I'm assuming Van Hoorbeek's made a mistake. That's them in the far corner. There now, coming through turn 2 on the right-hand side in the black and white. That's Mel Pocock. The guy to the left at the moment, number 89, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Has he made a mistake? Has he gone down? Or is it just the determination of Mel Pocock there on that Monster Energy Yamaha? They're bringing with them, though, Jordi Tixier and Jake Nichols, and this suddenly is looking good. There's Jake Nichols in that left-hander now in the background. So we've got 4 guys within the space of about 3 seconds of each other, all led by, well, there's Jens Getterman, the other standing construct, Suzuki. But we've got Van Hoorbeek, Pocock, Tixier and Nichols all within about 3 or 4 seconds of each other. Suddenly going to be challenging for that 7th position. And Mel Pocock, that fantastic ride in the opening moto and a good ride through the qualifying race as well. Couldn't quite get over that Monster Energy step down, though. That's allowed Tixier to close right in on him. Tixier there in the last rider in shot there in the orange, and trying to go around the outside. Is there going to be a little bit of bar banging through that next right-hander? Will pan out on a wide shot, and yeah, we still got it, but Tixier coming around now to the right, the left side of Pocock, easily goes through then and moves up into 8th position. And Jake Nichols coming into view now, just behind the back marker. So Jake Nichols will see Mel Pocock. Well, that will be a nice enough carrot for him as well. Won't want to be beaten by any other Brits. And just behind them, Valentin Tellier, quite a few seconds further back. So Harry Kulas now up into 13th. Alexander Tonkov just a little bit further back in 14th. Romain Febre in the points in 15th position, European champion from MX2 last year. Alex Lupino down in 16th. Robert Just, Kevin Fours, Valentin Guyot and Misha Boydewal. They're top 20. That's Tommy Searle. He's there in second, in third. 11 3/4 minutes plus 2 to go. Tommy Searle suddenly getting a bit of a spurt on here, jumping longer and further than his teammate. Is reeled in. Joe Roulant, number 34, just ahead of him. So the two Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders, they're going to be duking it out for overall honours here between teammates. Who's going to be second and who's going to be third in the overall Grand Prix. It's a great start for Harry Nolte and Jean-Jacques Lassetti, the team owners and team managers of the team. But Joe Roulant, well, back marker there, 101, just getting out of the way. That was Samuel Zaney. Tommy Searle will have his teammate in his sights, and he'll be doing all he can. Evasive action there from Jeffrey Herlings, 84. Coming out of that, fourth turn, that left-hander on the run-up to that sweeping right-hander. He's got August Just, or Robert Just, the 195 of the Latvia Elchny Honda squad, just to deal with. Quick pull of the roll-off there. Starting to rain again out on the circuit. Look at that, absolutely no effort getting up there at all for Jeffrey Herlings. Almost like a training ride for him, without being disrespectful to the other riders, but has been said, a lot of other people mentioning it, quite possibly we are looking at the best ever sand rider ever to have ridden a motorcycle. Jeff Perrett, who was in with me in the first MX2 race, actually said, you know, it's quite a mouth-watering prospect to imagine Lommel for the Motocross of Nations at the end of September, where this kid could quite simply win both motos on a 254 stroke. Well, we're looking at this battle here. Tommy Searle now all over the rear of his teammate Joel Roulant. It's a battle for second in the race and for the overall as well. Tommy Searle switching from one side of the track to the other just to try and use every inch of track available to him, looking for different lines. Look at that, nice up onto the bank there. Tried to turn it just a little bit tighter. But we're getting ready to go down a pit lane to talk to the Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki squad. Not sure if it's going to be Harry Nolte, though. Here's Amy.
Here in the pit lane with John Jacks. Joel is having a really, really great start to the season. He's obviously new in your team. I spoke to him earlier. He said he was feeling very confident, and he's obviously showing it out on track.
Yes, we are very confident because now we can see that both riders are in the top 3, and it's great for us. And of course, we want them on the podium. And for the season is a great beginning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just under 9 minutes to go. Look at this, the rain coming down. So too, Tommy Searle and his teammate. Joel Roulant got through past the back marker not being so kind, holding up Tommy Searle. He will not like that, Tommy Searle. That's the young Dutch rider, Misha Boydewal, on his wildcard appearance here, completely oblivious to the fact that he's just interfered with play, so to speak. Should have taken a bit more notice as Jeffrey Herlings came through, and then Joe Roulant, and then of course Tommy Searle getting the brunt end of that stick. And look at the time he's lost there. What, maybe 2, nearly 3 seconds on his teammate Joe Roulant. So all that hard work, that effort that Tommy Searle put in to close down Joe Roulant, his Belgian teammate number 34, all for nothing. And with 8 minutes to go, Tommy Searle will have to regroup and try again. Max Anstig losing a little bit of ground on Tommy Searle, though, in 4th place. Coldenhoff is still there in 5th, ahead of Ferrandis, Van Hoorbeek, Tixier, Pocock, and Nichols. Nichols and Pocock, they're pretty much side by side at the moment in 9th place. And that still is the case. So Valentin Tellier in 11th. He's had a good performance, actually. Valentin Tellier riding with a wrecked shoulder. Got a heavy cast on it, like a strapping device on that shoulder, wearing it on the outside of his shirt. on the right shoulder. Then we've got Pascal Rauschnecker. Harry Kulas is 13th, ahead of Alex Tomkov, Alex Lupino, Romain Febvre, just fourth, Valentin Guyot and Misha Boy-Dewar. And obviously, Misha Boy, that's the guy who got caught out with Tommy Sell. Here we are with Marco Melandri.
Joining me now is Marco Melandri. Marco, we often see you down at the motocross and at the GPs. Are you having a good weekend so far?
Yeah, I really love motocross, and I'm pushing for all the Italian guys, and nothing, just to have a lot of fun on it.
And what do you think of the races so far today?
Yeah, the track is pretty rough, and Tony Caroli made a huge race, and now Lupino is getting up from the back, so it's getting very excited.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, always good to have a couple of star attractions at the races. Sami Huppier knocking around, the former Liverpool player. Grabbed a word with him earlier. Of course, Marco Melandri been here all weekend. Good friends with Tony Cairoli, as he is with Valentino Rossi as well. But there's Coldenhoff. Goes over the line now. Fighting fifth for him. And this actually might be Coldenhoff's best finish in a World Championship event, I would think. Coldenhoff was unlucky last year to get injured at the Swedish Grand Prix in practice, and then failed to materialise then at any of the races after that. But in terms of where he finished last year, a couple of ninths would have been the best of it at La Bañeza in Spain. So Coldenhoff then, and the Nissan GM Racing team with Jake Nichols in ninth position, looking at a good overall points haul this weekend. It's tough when it's like this, but you've got to grind out the results. You don't know what's going to happen around the corner at the end of the season, or along the way certainly, but Jake Nichols had that big smash this morning, knocked himself about a bit, pulled off the whole shot in moto number 1, and well, he's there in fine form in the second moto, now inside the top 9, in ninth position after that mistake on the opening lap. So he really has pulled out all the stops as Jake Nichols. And in terms of his result, that'll be good to get him 7th overall in the overall Grand Prix. Mel Pocock would be 9th, actually. Glenn Coldenhoff, how far behind? Well, he's quite a ways behind Max Anstey. Anstey already over the line, and Coldenhoff not even out of this twisty little section here. So about 20-odd seconds, the difference between those two riders. Coldenhoff, and I think it's been done by Van Hoorbeek there. He has. And it would have been through here. Didn't get the drive. Van Hoorbeek was crawling all over the back of him. Just got a little bit more legs on that KTM. Bit more distance, bit more drive. Held the inside line here. And then once Coldenhoff committed to the outside and didn't get on the gas, that was enough to let Van Hoorbeek just command the whole series of those little S-bends. And he's found his way up into 5th place now. So Coldenhoff still, though, in his best ever finish in an FIM MX2 Grand Prix race result. So Van Hoorbeek, whatever his problems were around the middle point of the race, where he lost quite a bit of ground and lost a bit of time, probably lost a few positions as well, actually, he's found himself back there in 5th place. That'll do him no harm at all. Unlike his teammate Jeffrey Herlings, not the self-proclaimed one of the best sand riders in the world, but more of a hard pack specialist, but obviously lives in Belgium, so he's part of the course to bust out the motos in the sandy conditions around Lommel and Ulmen, Honda Park, all those kind of places. Riding Dutch and Belgian championships as, you know, part of the deal, riding for factory Red Bull KTM. Good development work as well goes on in the sand, maximising the power coming out of the engine. But Herlings probably not as dominant in the second moto, but once he got to the start, did he need to be? He's only 25.5 seconds down at the moment. The first moto, he actually lapped up to 7th, Alexander Tomkov. So the only person he didn't lap from then on in was obviously Tixier going forward. And first moto, 55 seconds almost from Tommy Searle, but it was a more convincing display from Jeffrey Herlings. We had him on the live show just before the start of the second race, the studio show that we do, and before we came on air, I said, how's the track? He said, yeah, you know what, it's actually not that bumpy at the moment. It's nice when you can say that, isn't it? And then know you can go out and pull off another result in about another 45 minutes late, in 45 minutes time, which is exactly what he's doing at the moment. But that's Kulas, 151. He is 13th at the last count. And just behind him, Alexander Tonkov there. He is number 66. So Tonkov, the Russian, down in 14th position. Alessandro Lupino a little bit further behind them. Maybe another 5 or 6 seconds or so. Down in 15th. Then we've got Romain Fabre, Robert Just, Valentin Guyot, Kevin Fors, and Misha Boy Dewal going to be picking up his first World Championship point in his first ever Grand Prix in the second moto. There's Valentin Tellier. Look, as he comes out of this right turn, he's got that strapping on, that protective casing on that shoulder, just to protect him from any more damage. Jordi Tixier came mighty close to landing on him in the closing stages of the first moto, a little earlier on, when he challenged him for 6th place. And like I say, he's really toughed it out as as Valentin Tellier this weekend. The bumps here, not so forgiving. The downhills with all of those bumps, certainly not. A lot of energy going through the shoulders. There's Tixier. Good result for him as well, down in 7th position in this moto. That'll be a good combined score, but with 30 seconds left on the clock, obviously Jeffrey Herlings already over the line, and he has a 26-second advantage over Joel Roulants. Coming towards the end of official time here in this second race, the opening round of the 2012 FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship round at Valkenswaard in the Netherlands. It's been a cold, blustery, and at times rainy day here in the Netherlands. And one rider has stood out above all. That's the number 84 of Jeffrey Herlings. He's nearly 27 seconds ahead of Joel Roulants, who looks to have cemented that second place from his teammate Tommy Searle. So it's KTM with a Kawasaki in second and third. Then we've got Max Anstey in 4th place. The 2-lap board goes out now as Herlings goes through. Here's Tommy Searle coming through in the opposite direction. He's in 3rd position. So that gives you some idea of roughly what 30-odd seconds looks like. Tommy Searle, he'll go away from here quietly confident that he can do a job in Bulgaria in 2 weekends' time. Safely through the rhythm section through there. Obviously, Herlings doubling and tripling his way through that particular point. That's where he's been gaining some of his time, but not all. The rest of the time coming from just pure technique from the tall, rangy Dutchman. Tommy Searle, Joel Roulants, the 2 riders in this Fleury Monster Energy Kawasaki Pro Circuit team. Harry Nolte, the team manager, Jean-Jacques Lassetti, JJ. They'll be sitting there rubbing their hands, getting off to a perfect start for them. The best possible scenario, both guys on the podium, both with the 2nd and a 3rd apiece. Couldn't ask for any more than that, really. A little bit further back as we look at Tommy Searle. Max Anstey, he's over the line. About 30 seconds down on this rider here. So Anstey in 4th place as we pick up Tommy Searle on the first descent. Very choppy, very gnarly through there. It's not exactly poor visibility. There's Roulants in 2nd. Looks like he's lapped Tonkov in 14th position. So Tonkov, whilst in the points, in a good, strong position there. Joel Roulants working his way through the lappers at the high end of the field. And he's already 27.5 seconds down on Jeffrey Herlings, who's gone through and taken the 1-lap board just on cue there. Just wondering how much further up the track Herlings may have lapped up to. Well, there is our race leader, getting a little bit tight on Kenny Van Duren there. And Herlings will probably just give him a bit of a roost as he prepares to go through there. But here's Herlings on the right-hand side, preparing to go around his teammate. As I say, he's only, well, probably his slightly older teammate. Tixier's only 18. So Tixier, wow, 7th position again. That's where Jeffrey Herlings has lapped up to at the moment in this second moto. Thumbs up from the marshals here on this. What's a celebratory lap, really, but he's still got his head down as Herlings. Wouldn't be surprised if he turns his fastest lap of the race in right now, but he'll have to go some to do that because that was set on the second lap, 1:54.5. Last time around, it was a 2 minutes, 0.7. The kid is just so smooth around this circuit, which has grown a few inches as well over the off-season. Got a great technique for riding in the sand. Looks perfectly poised, unflustered, scrubs his way, keeps it nice and low, gets on the power nice and early, hooks up a gear, gets over the double jump, picks the front wheel up, avoids the braking bumps, carries that momentum through that sweeping left-right turn combination. Buries the front there, but the power just digging him out of a hole, almost getting over that whole double jump. No celebratory triple jump through here, I wouldn't think this time around. Be a brave man if he did, split those two back markers, but coming out of the final corner, and he goes by Glenn Coldenhoff for 6th position, and it's going to be a moto win for Jeffrey Herlings. That's 3 overall Grand Prix victories for him on home soil. Every single one of them in the last 3 years coming with a double moto score. Here's Joel Roulance, about 30 seconds further back. We're getting ready to have a quick winner's interview with Jeffrey Herlings. If Amy can get in there quick enough, it would be just great to hear his initial thoughts on the circuit. But here's Roulance. A couple of holes and waves to go before the final turn here. And then it's going to be a run up to the finish line for him. A great ride for him. Almost gets it wrong coming out of the final corner, though, but he will know that's good enough for 2nd overall. Edging out his teammate Tommy Searle, who will have to settle for 3rd this weekend.
Proficiat, hij wordt hier 2e in de wedstrijd. En als men Geugen niet in de steek laat, is de 2e race doorslag geven in zijn duel met Tommy Searle. Om straks naast Jeffrey Herlings op het 2e schavotje te staan.
So pretty well spread out again, just like it was in Moto number 1. Jeffrey Herlings only 36.5 seconds clear of Joel Roulance this time around. Still 55 down on ahead of Tommy Searle. So the difference, obviously, Joel Roulance. Here's Herlings, here's our winner.
Another great race there from you. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it was really good. I just don't understand why they flat all the track. You know, it was really easy. But for the rest, you know, I had a good start. Was about 5th. Passed on me 2nd lap, went into the lead, and since then just checked out. And getting me more pleased to win again for the 3rd time back on my home track, and just love it.
Congratulations.
So a great performance then from Jeffrey Herlings. Perfect score, 50 points on the board. But can you believe that the track wasn't rough enough, apparently? But hey, there you go. That's what you get when you're the best sand rider in the world. That was Jeffrey Herlings just going by Coldenhoff, who he lapped for 6th place, going through the final corner, and quite a sedatory, really, celebratory jump as he came through that Monster Energy finish line jump. But the Red Bull KTM factory rider, Jeffrey Herlings, 2 wins out of 2 at the opening round here, 50 points on the board. He will be the red plate holder, and of course Bulgaria in 2 weeks' time. But what an amazing feat there. 3 Grand Prix wins out of 3 on home soil, all at the same venue, all with the same outcome. Good performance from the Kawasaki boys as well. Joel Roulance and Tommy Searle coming over the line in 2nd and 3rd position. Max Anstey, can't take anything away from him either on the Honda in 4th. A good start for him. Van Horbeek was a little bit up and down, but he'll be happy to settle for 5th position, and that'll be good for him. Official confirmation of the results coming now over the super slow-mo of Jeffrey Herlings. So Herlings then victorious, Joel Roulant second, Tommy Searle, Merv, Max Anstey, Van Hoorbeek, Coldenhoff, Tixier and Dylan Ferrandis, the top 8 there. Jake Nichols, a good ride through for 9th after that fall on the opening lap or so, put him down to about 15th, 16th position. Did well to find his way through the pack. Tellier who was 10th. And then it was Harry Kulas, Mel Pocock. Dropped to 12th in the end, but still a good points haul for him. Steve Dixon, team manager there at Monster Energy Yamaha, will be more than pleased with that. Alessandro Lupino was 13th, had a Pascal Rauschenecker, Romain Fevre, Joe Robert Just, Valentin Guillot, Kevin Ford, Misha Boyd-de-Waal picks up a point in the end there because Tonkov ended up crashing out to 20th in the final stages of that race. So not good in the end, but obviously overall Grand Prix is going to be, without question, belonging to Jeffrey Herlings. Joel Roulant and Tommy Searle will be 2nd and 3rd overall, tied on points. There we go. Then Van Hoorbeek, 4th overall, Tixier 5th, good for him. Max Anstey down in 6th position, with Nichols 7th and Ferrandis down in 8th. Tellier, good for him in 9th place. And Pocock, look at that, 10th overall for the Yamaha rider. Probably the standout performance of the day, actually, although got to give credit to number 17, Jose Boutron. 2 strong rides, 2 DNFs, with what looked like 2 mechanical failures for him on that Diga Racing KTM. So he'll be looking for better things in a couple of weeks at Sevlievo, the 2nd round of the World Championship. Of course, here is what the overall championship looks like then, same as Herlings, the red plate holder, as we go to Bulgaria round 2. And then exactly the same as it is, as it's the opening round. Roulant, Searle, Van Hoorbeek, Tixier, Nichols, Anstey, Ferrandis, Tellier and Pocock, then Glenn Coldenhoff in 11th overall. That point made all the difference, look, in the end. He could have been 10th overall this weekend. Lupino, Tonkov, Kulas, Larsen, Rauschenecker, Petrov on the board, but not where he wanted to be after that problem in the early stage of that second moto. Just Guillot and Fevre. So we're getting ready to go down to the podium. Before that, manufacturers' standings look a little bit like this. KTM, 50 points for them. Kawasaki, 44. Honda on 30. So a good start for Honda then. Not seen them at the sharp end in MX2 for a while. Yamaha, Suzuki and Husqvarna then rounding out the 6 manufacturers' placings. 3rd overall this weekend, the Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider Tommy Searle. And the disappointment there will probably be more the fact that he's been beaten by his teammate rather than anything else. But his teammate Joel Roulant put in a great display. He was a little bit tight in the beginning of the first race, he said, but the second race more than made up for it. Found a way through on Tommy, and well, there he is, 2nd in the race, 2nd overall, by courtesy of that 3rd and 2nd positions that he's picked up this weekend. Jeffrey Herlings, the man again though, the hat courtesy of Twin Air. All the fan club have been wearing this weekend. He's even got his Pirelli hat on the top there as well, look. But number 84, Jeffrey Herlings. Another double race winner here. Much like this guy, team manager, race coordinator Stefan Everts did in the past as well when he was racing, of course, en route to any one of those 10 world titles that he picked up during his time as a pro racer. And Jeffrey Herlings, the celebrations have already begun. Hans Verhoff hands a 3rd place trophy to Tommy Searle. Bit of a showman is Jeffrey Herlings. Of course, Joe Roulant gets his from Klaus van der Werf, another former organiser here at Valkenswaard. Probably back in my day, to be honest, but crowd have been fairly quiet here this weekend. Obviously, maybe more in anticipation and expectation that Jeffrey Herlings should win. But Vito Ippolito, the FIM president, on hand to offer the winner's trophy, a 3rd straight Dutch Grand Prix victory. Winner's trophy for Jeffrey Herlings. Stefan Everts will pick up the Manufacturers Award. Obviously, KTM winning manufacturers this weekend. Liam, stage left as normal, or stage right as we look at it, but the obligatory trophy photos, but the red plate here, it's not the first time he's had it. Remember, he picked it up last year in Portugal when Roxon crashed out of the World Championship, but 2 race wins at the opening round will guarantee that, and that's exactly what's happened. Jeffrey Herlings will go to Bulgaria in 2 weekends' time as the red plate holder. That was national anthem for the Netherlands. KTM, though, we're winning manufacturers this weekend. Here's the national anthem for Austria.
Dames en heren, David de Blauw voor Tommy Scholl, Joël Roelands en Jeffrey Herlings. And now the
so Jeffrey Herlings then, the overall winner here at the Grand Prix of the Netherlands at Valkenswaard on this Easter weekend. It didn't have much sunshine here, but the rain came down, and as a result, Jeffrey Herlings clearly reigns here in Holland. That's 3 overall Grand Prix victories out of 3 in the last 3 seasons, 6 moto victories. You can't get any better than that, and Jeffrey Herlings is the championship leader as we head to round 2.
Jeffrey Herlings, wij gaan ons opmaken voor de MX1-klasse.
And as the 2 Kawasaki riders leave the podium, leaving Jeffrey Herlings to stand up there all by himself, let's take a look at what happened in race 2. Wasn't a great start for Herlings, has to be said, as he went through over the gate. But Tommy Searle, Joel Roulants, who had a great start, so too did Jose Boutron. But before long, Tommy Searle found himself leading and then being caught and passed by Jeffrey Herlings, who simply checked out to around about 30 seconds. Then it was a battle between the 2 Kawasaki's. Roulants, who'd been in third for a few laps beforehand, suddenly found the drive and made a way past his teammate Tommy Searle. Tommy Searle was then found himself in 3rd position on that number 100 Kawasaki. And he looked pretty comfortable there, to be honest. His teammate, Joel Roulants, marched on for a fine 2nd position, but was no match for this guy here, number 84, Jeffrey Herlings. Max Anstey also had a great ride in 4th position, and that was good enough for a good points haul as well going into the 2nd round. But this guy here was just simply sensational. Came through the final corner, stood up on the pegs as he has been all weekend long, took the checkered flag, 50 points, that'll do
Jeffrey,
nicely.
you've just taken your 3rd double moto win, again here in Valkenswaard. You can't get a much better start to the GP season than that, right?
No, for sure not. You know, it's been like a dream come true, you know, the first round here in Valkenswaard. You know, should be the big season for me, and came out swinging again with a win, so I couldn't be more pumped. But gotta give to the Red Bull KTM Racing team, you know, all the fans, you know, my family, my girlfriend, just everybody out there. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And we can't really say any more than what we've already said. The best sand rider in the world. 3 overall Grand Prix victories, 3 years in a row, 6 moto wins. You can throw a couple of Belgian Grand Prix victories in there as well from Lommel, but Jeffrey Herlings is going to be in confident mood as he goes to Bulgaria in 2 weekends' time. Circuit conditions are a little bit different there, though. A little bit hard packed, a little bit hilly. But he has the lead. He's going to be in the mood, that's for sure. Just depends whether there's any pressure attached to that red plate, just like there was a year ago when he first took the leadership in the championship. Joel Roulants was 2nd. He's down by the podium, getting ready to speak to Amy. So he was the first of the Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders. Here he is, Joel Roulants.
Joel, what an excellent start to your GP season with your new team. What do you think of that win?
Yeah, it went really good. I had a good start in the second heat, and then I passed Tommy, or I was second, I don't know, I'm not sure. I think I passed Tommy, and then I wanted to catch up to Jeffrey, and it was working a little bit, but I had to push so hard, and then I got really tired because I was pushing so hard. So I said, yeah, it's not going to work out this time. So I backed off my pace for 10 minutes, and then I got recovered, and I just rolled my race.
Still a really great race for you, and all the best for the rest of the GP season.
Riding smart then, Joel Roulants. Got a bit tight, backed off, regrouped. Took a second bite of the cherry. And in the end, that was enough to force himself back into second position. And second overall as well in the World Championship standings, let's not forget. Not just second overall in the Grand Prix. Nothing in it, though, really, between him and his teammate. A second and a third apiece. Tommy Searle was third overall. He's down by the podium area, getting ready to speak to Amy. Let's hear what Tommy Searle has to say.
Tommy, you said earlier that you knew Jeffrey was quicker in the sand, but you still had a really, really good, consistent weekend. You've got to be happy with that overall result.
Yeah, I'm happy. This is what I come to do, and I done it. So we done the job that we came to do, and we move on to the next round. But I'm really happy with the whole team, how we worked. Like during the last few weeks, we've been coming in the sand, but it's not natural for me to ride this stuff. So I'm happy today, and a big thanks to the whole Floride Monster Energy Kawasaki team, because they've all been putting a lot of work in. No one sees that until today, and yeah, I'm happy with everything.
Thanks, all the best for next weekend.
Well, Tommy Searle then leaves here exactly the same as he did last year, but with instead of 2/3, it's 2 seconds. But he's still third in the championship. But he's going to go to Bulgaria in good mood. That's it for now. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the next round of MX2